Hey guys, welcome back to Fairwinds RV. It is busy around here, so we've got a lot of stuff going on. You can see Candace in the background here. She is currently going through the attic here at our parents' house. Well, my parents' house. There is so much stuff up there, it's insane. And we've kind of already been through the garage, got rid of a lot of stuff, and now we're doing the attic. And this is going to take a while, I think. But as you can see here, there's a lot of stuff here in this garage that she's gone through already. Some of it we're going to get rid of, some of it we're going to keep. Some of it we don't know what the hell's going on with, but we're going to figure it out as we go along. But that is not the extent of the fun around here. We also have part of the garden torn up here, as you can see. We have been here for about 2 months now, and we have not been able to do anything with our septic tanks at all. So we've had to really conserve what we're doing in there. Not put any solids in there, but we were able to get some guys out today. They are putting in an RV connection for us back there. And for the first time in a couple of months, we're gonna be able to drain all of our tanks. Most importantly, the black tank. There really shouldn't be any solids in there right now, but because we haven't been able to drain it or flush it or really do anything with it for the past couple of months, it stinks. It's weird, it smells like fish. Don't know why it smells like fish, but we've just been adding some tank treatment in there, and we're gonna finally be able to get these things drained out, and I'll be able to flush the black tank real good. But that's still not the extent of everything. So we found out today that this septic tank is also gonna have to be pumped out. It hasn't been pumped out in a couple of decades, literally a couple of decades. So that's going to have to happen too, but there's lots of fun going on around here. So what we're going to do is, in this episode, Candace has got some tips for keeping your RV cool during the summer. Or I don't know if it's going to be cool as much as just not unbearably hot. So she's going to bring you some tips. I think she's got 4 or 5 tips coming at you, but I just wanted to kind of give an update of where we are. There's all kinds of stuff going on around here, stuff to keep us busy pretty much on a daily basis. Yesterday it was cleaning out gutters, it was trimming bushes, spraying for weeds. So we are keeping busy. Oh, and I forgot to mention another kind of exciting thing that we're going to be doing, or that I'm going to be doing. So I just put out that video last week or a couple weeks ago about the EcoFlow system that I have as kind of that alternative solar solution. Well, we're also having some power issues here where I keep having one of my air conditioners keep shutting down on us, and I think it's just a voltage problem. I think we're seeing some instantaneous dips in voltage here that I just haven't been able to resolve. We even got the Hughes Auto Former, which does help out a little bit in bumping up that voltage, but it's just not been enough to prevent those air conditioners from tripping offline. So I've actually bought another set of those EcoFlow components, right? I've got the inverter and the battery, and basically I'm going to double that. I really am not sure that I need all that battery power right now because we do have shore power available, but the idea is that we're going to use this as our permanent source of power. It's still going to be plugged into the house, but I think the EcoFlow inverters are going to be able to manage the voltage situation that we've got here a little bit better than, say, this Hughes Auto Former. So I'm hoping that that's going to help us be able to keep these air conditioners on, because guess what? She's got these tips coming at you about how to keep your rig cool during the summertime. But I'm going to add one tip in there, and that is you got to figure out how to keep your air conditioners on in the first place. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I've been battling this for a few weeks, and so we're going to try that solution. It's kind of an expensive solution, but it's something that we were planning on doing down the road anyway. So I don't feel like we're really going out of our way or doing anything unnecessary to resolve this issue with the air conditioners. So anyway, those don't come in until tomorrow. So I'm not going to be able to get it in the video this week. I really got to sit down and plan this out and figure out how I want to do it, where I want to situate everything, how I want to hook everything up. So it's probably going to be maybe a couple more weeks until I have an update on that, but I'm kind of excited about it. Like I said, it's something that we've wanted to do anyway, especially when we upgrade our rig to give us some more power when we're out there boondocking. So like I said, I'll probably have it in a couple of weeks, but I got some planning to do. But anyway, I just wanted to mention it because it's something else that's keeping us busy out here. I'll get an update out on that probably here in a couple of weeks. So without further ado, let's get to some of these keeping cool during the summertime tips for living in your RV.
guys, welcome back. I'm Candace, and this week we're going to be talking about 5 ways to keep your rig cool in the summer. So we are officially in summer. The first day of summer was a couple weeks ago, and the temperatures are really heating up. Today I think we're supposed to get to about 87 here where we are. I know some of you down south, particularly in Arizona, I've seen temps of about 103. So 87 is hot for us. I can't imagine what you're doing down there. One of the most common questions that I see in a lot of the online forums, a lot of the Facebook groups, is how do I keep my rig cool? I cannot get my rig to cool down. It's unbearably hot. I'm dying inside. What do I do? So today I'm going to show you 5 things that we do to try to keep our rig cool in these hot summer temps. The number 1 tip is to make sure that you get your air conditioning going early in the day. Do not wait until your rig is already uncomfortable. For us, that's anything over about 78 degrees, 80 degrees. So if you wait until your rig is already uncomfortable, it can take hours to get it back down. Your air conditioning actually works a lot better if it just has to keep up than if it has to catch up. So if you know that it's going to be hot during the day, make sure that you get your air conditioning turned on at least by the time that your interior temperature reaches the point where your air conditioning would normally come on. So right now we've got our air conditioning set to 74. So I would definitely want to make sure that this baby is on by the time the inside reaches 74, which we're almost there. It says that we're reading at about 73 right now. So it's going to kick on any minute, and it's probably going to run all day. But yeah, if it's nice and cool in the morning and you want to open up the rig, open up those windows, get some fresh air in, that's fine. Just make sure you get your rig shut back up and that air conditioning going before you reach that set point so that your air conditioner has a better chance of keeping up than having to do that catch-up process. This next tip pertains to the positioning of your rig. Some of you will not be able to do anything about this, but if it's possible, try to book sites where your rig is facing in an east-west direction with the side of your rig that either has the most windows or you're most concerned about. Like if you're concerned about the sun directly hitting on your refrigerator slide, like this one back here, try to put that on the north face. The other thing that you can think about too is booking sites that have some sort of shade, especially in the afternoon. As we know, the afternoon sun is more brutal than the morning sun. And so if you can get some of that afternoon shade, especially on one of the long sides of your rig, that's going to help keep you cool. Unfortunately, you can't see it too well, but we are actually faced in the complete opposite direction as to what is optimal. We are parked in a north-south direction, so we take the morning sun on our driver's side, and we take the afternoon sun on the passenger side. Luckily, the house is in the way with some tall trees in the afternoon, so we only have to deal with the sun until about 6 o'clock. But it still heats up the rig, and so we try to keep those windows closed and that Reflectix in the windows. Tip number 3 is to use Reflectix in your windows that take on direct sun. So the way we're positioned here, we take direct sun on the driver's side in the morning and then direct sun on the passenger side in the afternoon. So I cover all of our windows on that eastern side in the morning, and as you can see in just a minute when I'm going to temp them, there's a drastic difference between windows that have Reflectix and windows that don't. So right now we're getting about 89 degrees, and that's with the Reflectix on. So we originally used the Reflectix when we spent our first winter in Central Ohio. So Jeremy went through and measured each of the windows, cut the Reflectix to fit, and then we just left them up all winter. They made a huge difference in the winter to keep a lot of that cold air out, especially because we don't have the dual pane windows. That Reflectix helped to keep the inside of the rig a lot warmer over the winter, meaning we didn't have to use as much propane. So in the summer, obviously it does the opposite. So it's going to help to keep your rig cooler. You're going to use less air conditioning. It's just going to be more comfortable. I love sunshine during the day, and I love my house to be bright and airy. So I tend to keep as many windows uncovered as possible during the day. So I only cover the windows that are getting direct sun, and then I just move the Reflectix in the afternoon to the opposite windows. If you don't care, if you don't mind, it being a little darker inside, or if you're not even going to be home, you know, maybe you work or you're going to be gone all day, just leave them all covered. It doesn't matter. It's whatever works for you. Obviously, the best thing to do is just to cover them all, but I like having that natural light coming in, so I just move them, like I said, east windows in the morning, west windows in the evening, and then I can still have that sunshine. All right, so I just took the Reflectix out of the windows and I've given it a few minutes to warm up to its regular temperature. And we're gonna go ahead and temp it again. We'll hit it about the same spot. All right, so now we're reading about 102. So there's about a 10 to 12 degree difference between a window without Reflectix and a window with Reflectix. Tip number 4 is to use a dehumidifier. Dehumidifiers work to get the moisture out of the air, which causes you to feel sticky and uncomfortable. We tried using some of those smaller ones with the smaller footprints, but they just did not work. I mean, they barely pull any moisture out of the air. They're just not worth it. There might be some smaller units out there that do a really great job. We just weren't willing to keep doing the trial and error. So we brought this one over from our house. We used to have one in the upstairs part of the house and then also one in the basement. And this is a 50 pint, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's VREMI. This is the one that we've had for several years. It is still going strong. And we just keep it set at about 40% because that's our comfort level. And depending on where we are, if it's really high humidity, we can empty this thing about every 16 hours. So it is really pulling the moisture out of the air. We love having the dehumidifier because there is a huge difference between 74 degrees inside and 70% humidity, and 74 degrees and 40% humidity. So we're currently sitting at about 42% humidity, which keeps us from being sticky, which allows us to keep it at 74 instead of a much lower temperature, which again saves on electricity. The other thing to consider with dehumidifiers is humidity and moisture are the enemies of your house, your rig, everything. So you do not want high humidity, high moisture levels in your rig because then you'll have to deal with mold. So keeping a constant roughly 40% humidity in your rig will not only make you more comfortable, save on electricity, but it'll help you to avoid a lot of those mold issues. All right, so finally, tip number 5, fans. Fans, fans, fans. We have a fan in every room of our rig, just like we had fans in every single room of our house. As many of you know, Jeremy has a thing for vinyl records. He also has a thing for antique fans. Whenever we go to an antique store, those are the two things that he is always on the lookout for. We had fans in our kitchen, in our workshop, in our basement gym, pretty much everywhere but the bathrooms. We even have mini fans, and I'll put it in the description, but little mini USB fans that we take with us when we go to wineries so we can set them on the table in front of us. We've got little stroller kind of octopus clip fans that we take to the pool with us so we can attach it to our lounge chairs. But if you're trying to stay cool and you want to keep your air conditioning just a little bit higher to save on some money, having air circulating across your body definitely helps with your comfort level. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed those 5 tips on how to keep your rig cooler in the summer. And if you haven't already done so, please hit those like and subscribe buttons. It's free for you, but it helps us to pay for Wicket's treats.